Ever wondered how the internet actually works? Or why Netflix knows when to skip the intro? From AI brains to Wi-Fi routers, this is the ultimate guide to 30 tech questions, explained in the simplest way possible. Let's dive in. What is DNS?
DNS stands for Domain Name System. It's like the internet's phone book. When you type a website name like Google, your computer doesn't actually understand names. It only understands numbers called IP addresses. DNS is the helper that translates the easy name into the right number so your computer knows where to go. It's just like looking up your friend's name in a phone book to find their phone number. So DNS is what makes it possible for you to type words instead of long, confusing numbers when you visit websites.
What is a CDN?
Don't worry, it's not a secret code. It just means Content Delivery Network. Imagine your favorite game or video lives on one big computer super far away. Every time you play or watch, your request has to travel all the way there and back. That's like ordering a burger from the other side of the world. By the time it gets to you, it's cold and soggy. A CDN fixes that by putting lots of smaller computers, called servers, in different places all over the world. So when you click, the closest one gives you the file fast, hot, and fresh, like a burger shop right in your neighborhood. That's why YouTube loads quickly, websites don't feel slow, and memes get to you before they're old news. So CDN equals a team of internet delivery helpers, making sure your stuff gets to you quickly no matter where you are.
How does Reddit work?
Reddit is like a giant collection of online clubs called subreddits. Each subreddit is about a topic like video games, science, movies, or even funny cat pictures. When you join Reddit, you can read posts, share your own, or comment on others. People can upvote things they like so they rise to the top, or downvote things they don't like so they sink. It's kind of like a huge bulletin board where everyone sticks their notes, and the best notes float up where more people can see them. So Reddit works by letting millions of people share, discuss, and vote on content inside different topic clubs.
What is NGINX?
NGINX, said NGINX, is special software that helps websites run faster and handle lots of visitors at the same time. Think of it like a super fast traffic cop for the internet. When thousands of people try to visit the same website, NGINX makes sure everyone gets directed to the right place without traffic jams. It can also store copies of web pages so they load quicker the next time you visit, kind of like keeping snacks ready in the fridge instead of cooking every time. So NGINX is what keeps big websites smooth, speedy, and able to handle huge crowds without crashing.
What is BGP?
BGP stands for Border Gateway Protocol. It's how the internet decides the best path for your data to travel. Imagine the internet as a giant map with millions of roads. When you send a message, it has to figure out which roads to take to get to the right computer on the other side of the world. BGP is like the GPS of the internet. It looks at all the possible paths, then chooses the best route, usually the fastest or most reliable one. If BGP has a problem, data can get lost or slowed down, which is why internet outages sometimes happen. So BGP is the rulebook that helps your data find its way across the huge maze of the internet.
What's JavaScript?
JavaScript is a computer language that makes websites come alive. Without it, websites would just sit there like plain pieces of paper, only showing text and pictures. With JavaScript, websites can do things. Buttons can click, menus can drop down, games can run, and videos can play. It's like the difference between a picture of a robot and a real robot that moves and talks. So JavaScript is what gives websites their interactive magic.
What is TypeScript?
TypeScript is like JavaScript's smarter big brother. JavaScript lets websites do cool things, but sometimes it makes mistakes because it doesn't always check your work. TypeScript adds extra rules, kind of like having a teacher look over your homework before you hand it in. It makes sure the code is correct and easier to fix when something goes wrong. The best part? TypeScript still turns into JavaScript at the end, so every website can understand it. So TypeScript is basically JavaScript, but with extra safety checks that help programmers avoid silly mistakes.
What's the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript?
JavaScript is the language that makes websites fun and interactive. Buttons click, games run, and videos play. But JavaScript doesn't always double-check your work. If you make a mistake in the code, it might only break later when you run it. TypeScript is like JavaScript with an extra safety net. It adds rules that check your code while you're writing it, so you can catch mistakes early. The cool part is, TypeScript always turns back into JavaScript in the end, because browsers only understand JavaScript, so JavaScript equals flexible and fast. TypeScript equals the same, but with safety checks built in.
Oh, how does Netflix use dynamic optimization?
When you watch Netflix, your internet speed isn't always the same. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. Dynamic optimization is Netflix's trick to keep your show playing smoothly. Here's how it works. When your internet is fast, Netflix gives you super clear video, like watching through clean glass. If your internet slows down, it quickly switches to a lighter version of the video so it doesn't stop and buffer. It also saves data. Netflix figures out how to show the best quality picture using the least amount of internet so you can watch longer without wasting bandwidth. So, dynamic optimization equals Netflix constantly adjusting the video so it looks good and never pauses, no matter how strong your internet is.
How does skip intro work on Netflix?
It's not magic, and there aren't little people pressing the button for you. When Netflix adds a new show, their system actually studies the episodes first. It looks for patterns like the theme song, the opening credits, and the part that repeats in every episode. Once it finds that, Netflix marks the beginning and end of the intro, just like putting bookmarks in a book. So when you click Skip Intro, Netflix isn't guessing. It already knows where to jump, and it takes you straight to the start of the story. It feels instant, but really it's Netflix doing a lot of homework ahead of time so you can get right to the good part.
Where does AI learn to create?
AI doesn't go to school like we do, but it does learn from lots and lots of examples. Think of it like this. If you wanted to draw a cat, you'd look at tons of pictures of cats first. After seeing enough, you'd know how to draw one on your own. That's what AI does. It's trained on huge collections of text, images, or sounds. By studying patterns like how words fit together in sentences or how shapes make up a picture, it learns the rules without anyone telling it each step. Then, when you ask it to write a story, make art, or create music, it mixes everything it learned and produces something new. So, AI learns to create by practicing with mountains of examples, just like we get better at things by practicing over and over.
What's the difference between ANI, AGI, and ASI?
ANI stands for Artificial Narrow Intelligence. That's AI that can do one thing really well, like play chess, translate languages, or recommend movies. But if you ask it to bake a cake or clean your room, it has no idea what to do. AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence. That's the kind of AI that could think and learn like a human. It wouldn't just know one skill. It could solve problems in many areas, switch tasks, and even learn new things on its own. ASI stands for Artificial Superintelligence. That's the sci-fi level AI, smarter than the best human brains in everything. Science, art, problem solving, you name it. It's the stage people imagine in movies where AI might invent things we can't even understand. So, ANI equals smart at one thing. AGI equals smart like a person. ASI equals way smarter than people.
What is RAG?
RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. But don't worry, that's just a big phrase for a simple idea. Normally, an AI only knows what it learned during training. If you ask it about something new, it might guess or get it wrong. RAG helps fix that. When you ask a question, the AI first retrieves fresh information from outside sources, like searching notes in a library. Then it augments its answer by combining what it already knows with what it just found. It's like doing homework with a textbook. Your brain has knowledge, but you check the book to make sure you're right. So RAG equals AI that looks things up before answering instead of just guessing.
Why are so many AI assistants female?
Most AI voices, like Siri, Alexa, or Google Assistant, sound like women. But why? Researchers found that people usually think female voices sound more friendly, helpful, and less intimidating. That's why companies often choose them. Also, studies showed that both men and women tend to trust a female voice when it's giving instructions or information. But not all AI assistants are female. Some now let you pick between male, female, or even different accents. So the reason many AIs sound female is because it feels natural and easy to listen to, not because AIs are really women.
What is the difference between CPU, GPU, and TPU?
A CPU is the main brain of your computer. It's really good at doing lots of different tasks, but usually one at a time. Think of it like a smart student who can solve any subject, but carefully and step by step. A GPU is like a team of students all working together on the same problem. Instead of doing one thing at a time, they split it up and solve many pieces at once. That's why GPUs are great for video games and graphics. They can handle thousands of tiny calculations at the same time. A TPU is a special kind of brain built just for one subject, artificial intelligence. It doesn't try to do everything like the CPU or graphics like the GPU. It's designed only for machine learning, which makes it super fast at training and running AI models. So, CPU equals the all-around brain. GPU equals the teamwork brain for graphics and big tasks. TPU equals the AI-only brain.
How does Password Manager work?
A password manager is like a super safe box that keeps all your passwords in one place. Instead of remembering dozens of different passwords, you only need to remember one master password to open the box. Inside, the password manager stores your passwords safely using encryption, which scrambles them into secret codes that only the manager can unlock. When you log into a website, the password manager can fill in your username and password for you, so you don't have to type or remember them. So a password manager is like having a digital keychain that remembers every password, but only opens when you use your one secret master key.
How does fingerprint unlock work?
When you put your finger on your phone's sensor, it doesn't actually take a picture of your finger. Instead, the sensor scans the ridges and valleys of your fingerprint, the little lines and curves that make your finger unique. The phone then turns that pattern into a digital code, kind of like a secret number. When you try to unlock your phone again, it scans your finger, makes another code, and compares it to the saved one. If they match, the phone unlocks. If not, it stays locked. So fingerprint unlock works by matching your unique finger pattern to the one stored safely inside your phone.
How does incognito browser work?
When you open a browser in incognito mode, it looks almost the same, but it treats your history differently. Normally, your browser remembers everything you do, the websites you visit, the searches you make, even the cookies that keep you logged in. In incognito mode, the browser keeps things private on your computer. It doesn't save your history, your searches, or cookies once you close the window. But here's the catch. Incognito doesn't make you invisible. Websites, your internet provider, or your school Wi-Fi can still see what you're doing. So incognito is like borrowing a whiteboard. You can write on it while it's open, but as soon as you close it, everything gets wiped clean.
Does Alexa always record what I say?
People worry that Alexa is always listening, but here's how it really works. Alexa is always listening only for its wake word, like Alexa. Until it hears that, it doesn't start recording or sending anything. Once you say Alexa, the device records your command, sends it to the cloud, and then gives you an answer. Sometimes Alexa might wake up by accident, like if it thought it heard its name. That's why people feel like it's always listening. But you can check or even delete what Alexa has recorded in the app. So no, Alexa doesn't record everything you say, only after it hears its wake word.
What is a MAC address?
Every device that connects to the internet, like your phone, your laptop, or even your smart fridge, has its own special ID number. That number is called a MAC address, and it's kind of like a name tag or a fingerprint for your device. No two are the same. When your device connects to Wi-Fi, the router checks that number to know which device is which. It's how the internet knows to send your YouTube video to your phone and not to your neighbor's tablet. So, a MAC address is just a unique label that helps your devices talk to the right network and get the right information.
What actually happens when you delete a file from your computer? It doesn't just poof, vanish into the void.
When you hit delete, your computer usually just moves the file into something called the trash or recycle bin. It's kind of like throwing a paper into the wastebasket in your room. It's still there until you take the trash out. Even when you empty the bin, the file isn't instantly destroyed. The computer just says, okay, I can use this space again later. But the file's bits and pieces are still sitting there until new stuff gets saved on top of it. On old hard drives, you could sometimes rescue those files with special tools, like digging old homework out of the trash. On newer SSDs, though, the computer cleans things up faster, like a vacuum that makes crumbs disappear right away. So deleting a file isn't like burning it, it's more like telling your computer, forget this until you need the space. Pretty cool and a little spooky, right?
Oh, does deleting content from my hard drive actually erase it?
When you delete something on your computer, it looks like it's gone, but it's not completely erased right away. Deleting a file is more like removing the label from a box in your closet. The box is still there, but now the computer thinks the space is empty and can be reused. Until new files get saved over that space, the old data can still be found with special tools. That's why people can sometimes recover deleted files. On newer drives like SSDs, the computer often clears the space faster, which makes recovery harder. So deleting doesn't always mean the data is instantly destroyed. It just means the space is marked as free to use again.
How does data storage work?
When you save something on your computer or phone, like a photo, a song, or a game, it has to live somewhere. That somewhere is called storage. Inside your device, storage works kind of like a giant library. Instead of books, it stores tiny pieces of information called bits, just zeros and ones. These bits get written onto the hard drive or SSD in patterns. Later, when you open your photo or song, your device reads those patterns and puts the pieces back together. So storage is basically a big digital filing system. You save something, it gets stored as zeros and ones, and when you want it back, your device rereads those patterns to show you the file.
What is a virtual machine?
A virtual machine, or VM, is like having a pretend computer inside your real computer. It uses software to act just like a real machine, with its own system, files, and programs, even though it's all running inside your laptop or PC. It's kind of like playing a video game where you have a computer inside the game. You can open apps, install stuff, and it feels real, but it's all make-believe. People use virtual machines to test new software, run different operating systems, or keep things safe by separating them from the main computer. So a VM is basically a computer inside a computer.
What is Docker?
Imagine you built a video game and want to share it with your friends, but when they try to run it, it doesn't work on their computer. Maybe they're missing files or using a different system. Docker solves this problem by packing the game, plus everything it needs to run, into a single box called a container. That way, no matter whose computer you use, the container always works the same. Big companies use Docker to make sure their apps run smoothly anywhere, whether on a laptop, a big server, or in the cloud. So Docker is like a shipping container for software. It keeps everything inside so it can travel anywhere and still work.
How does Bluetooth work?
Bluetooth is a way for devices to talk to each other without using wires. It uses tiny radio waves to send information over short distances, like when your headphones connect to your phone or your game controller connects to your console. Each Bluetooth device has a special code so it knows who it's talking to. That way, your headphones don't accidentally pick up your neighbor's phone. It doesn't use much power, which is why you can use Bluetooth gadgets for hours without draining the battery too fast. So Bluetooth is like a short-range walkie-talkie that lets your devices share info quickly and wirelessly.
How does a home Wi-Fi router work?
Your router is like the traffic cop of the internet inside your house. When the internet comes in through a cable from outside, The router takes that signal and shares it with all your devices, your phone, your computer, your tablet, even your smart TV. It does this by sending invisible radio waves, kind of like how a walkie-talkie or a radio works. Your devices listen to those waves and connect. The router also keeps everything organized. If you're watching YouTube, your brother is gaming, and your mom is on a video call, the router makes sure each device gets the right data at the right time, without mixing it up. So a Wi-Fi router is basically the post office and traffic cop of your internet. It takes the big stream of data from outside and makes sure everyone at home gets their piece delivered quickly.
What's the difference between local storage and cookies?
When you visit a website, it sometimes wants to save things on your computer. That way, the site remembers you the next time. Cookies are tiny files that store little bits of info, like your login, what's in your shopping cart, or what pages you visited. They can also be sent back to the website so it knows who you are. Local storage is like a bigger notepad inside your browser. It lets websites keep more information, like game progress or settings, but it stays on your computer and isn't sent back every time. So cookies equals small notes shared with the website. Local storage equals a bigger notebook that stays with you.
Why is dark mode better for your eyes?
When you look at a bright white screen for too long, your eyes get tired, kind of like staring at a flashlight. Dark mode flips the colors, so the background is dark and the text is light. This makes the screen easier to look at, especially at night, because your eyes don't have to work as hard. It also helps reduce glare, like when the sun bounces off shiny glass. And for some people, it just feels more comfortable and cozy. But here's the secret: dark mode isn't always better. In bright daylight, sometimes light mode is easier to read. So dark mode helps your eyes relax in low light, but the best mode depends on where you are and what you like.
How does Starlink work?
Most internet comes through cables buried underground, but Starlink does it differently. It uses space. Starlink has thousands of small satellites flying high above the Earth. Your house gets a special dish that points up to the sky. When you go online, your dish sends a signal to the closest satellite. That satellite quickly beams the signal down to a ground station connected to the internet. Then, the information shoots back up to the satellite and down to your dish, almost like playing ping pong with data between Earth and space. So, Starlink works by using satellites as internet messengers in space, bringing fast internet even to places where cables can't reach.